Welcome back, everybody. Let's start painting some wheels. I spent the first part of today prepping those wheel rims, getting the old silver paint off so that we can start putting some new silver paint on. And also yesterday I spent some time out and about. I'm waiting on a call back from the local tractor salvage yard on a replacement cylinder head for the engine. They did not have any good H heads on their shelf, and they said they were going to start going down the line of H carcasses and pulling cylinder heads off until they found one that looked like it was in good shape and of the appropriate casting number, because they made several different types of cylinder heads for the H. Well, I don't want the early distillate low compression style head. I want to have the appropriate higher compression gasoline style head like is original to this tractor. So hoping for good news there. I also, after I got the rims prepped, completed the rest of the hardware for the wheel hubs, wheel centers, and wheel weights. So the goal is to be able to get the whole back end of this tractor painted along with the back wheels and the weights and the hub centers and all the hardware, and pretty much get this thing at least on rubber on the back end. So let's get going on those rims. The paint that I've been using for years on these Farmall wheels is just this Rust-Oleum aluminum 7715. Nothing fancy either. I just brush it right on. So another thing I will take the time to do though is thoroughly mask around the bead if we're doing it like this with the tires already mounted to the rims, because a pet peeve of mine is to see an otherwise nice looking tractor that ended up with paint on the rubber. I know my eyelid twitches quite a lot, but that's something I just I can't have on my own machines. This is a very thin paint. It takes a lot of stirring, and you do want to stop from time to time and stir it back up as you go. And it's tough to get rid of these streaks. I've never fully got them out, but they don't seem to affect the finish at all. And it's something in the mix of the paint. I don't want to say it's a metal flake because it's not, but it's kind of like there are some super fine powdery particles held in suspension here. So you do have to stir it quite a lot. Another tip too, I like to keep the can of paint inside the wheel. That way you're not getting fresh paint on the brush outside of it and then dripping all the way across the tire before you get in here, start painting. Don't ask me how I learned that. Took a lot of cleaning to get about 4 little silver specks off of the sidewall of the super rim. I wasn't too happy with myself, but yeah, I'll take a small brush at first and just go around just the very edge. It's easier to control and we don't run so much down, have to rely on the masking. After we get that perimeter done, we'll move on to the bigger brush, finish the rest of the way out. And this is just going to be the first coat. This stuff likes 2 coats because, like I said before, it is so thin. You don't get perfect coverage on the first one. So just get it the best you can the first time here, and then we'll come back to it tomorrow, cover over it again, and then after that second coat, it'll look pretty good. Quick stir just to keep it all mixed up. We're covering ground now, but you have to always be on the lookout for paint runs, because this stuff is just almost like water. Getting back around to where we started now. Just about time to flip. Did I mention how much I love not having fluid in tires? So what did you do today on YouTube, Squatch? Well, I made all my viewers watch paint dry. It's about like it, huh? So that's 2 wheels done. Right there and right there. And we don't get too worried about brush strokes and anything else this first time around because, we're going to do another coat after that dries. And the reason I wait for it to dry is I've tried to put a second coat on right after the first coat tacks up, thinking it would keep that second coat from wanting to run quite so bad. And what I found is it just starts to drag that tacky first coat and you end up with a really rough finish, and I'm not that happy with it. I've had the best luck just letting that set up overnight. When it's dry to the touch tomorrow, hit it with the second coat. So that's the plan. See you all tomorrow. Welcome back, everybody. As promised, it's tomorrow. And I was still waiting on paint to dry, so I spent the morning cleaning up the shop. The projects had kind of been exploding back there lately. I do have 2 tractors exploded back there at the moment, so I guess that's pretty much normal. But I got a call a few minutes ago. We need to head about a half hour in that direction, go pick up some supplies. There's still part of me that misses that. Oh, I'd love to be in that left-hand seat right now. But then I see this. These cars have been sitting idle on this siding for almost a year now. Being on furlough, no work, plus dealing with the railroad management. I don't miss that part of the job at all. Here we are, Napa store. Oh, and look at that. Mr. Rick Bork on YouTube. Lucky us. Well, that was fun. You get the usual Rick Bork pleasantries. See that? What? We'll censor that out. So, unexpected news, but it's going to work out great. I just got a call from the tractor salvage yard, which is incidentally in the town we're rolling up to right now. They think they found a cylinder head for the H, so let's swing by real quick, take a look at it. Here's the paint. And the cylinder head, which I'm still surprised worked out the way it did today. So a quick rundown of what we picked up today. Napa line Martin Senior paints. I am using this for the Farmall H this time. We have the red oxide epoxy primer, and we have the International Harvester red along with the reducer and the hardener. And I call that the Pete paint because Pete at Just a Few Acres Farm has used that on the last several tractors he has restored, and they've all come out looking amazing. So I've never sprayed the Martin Senior paints before, but I decided let's give it a go. Some more painting supplies back here, but another big ticket item for the channel. I did invest in a new professional grade paint gun. My old one has just plain worn out, and it's got a lot of battle scars on it. We've done a couple of Minneapolis Malines, a Ford 8N, a couple of Farmalls, a bunch of Caterpillar stuff, and the needle where it goes in the packing has just plain worn out. It's getting tough to really get fine adjustments out of it and get a really good finish on sheet metal. So it's 19 years old. It's due. It's still a good rough surface gun, but yeah, the modern ones have the disposable paint cups, the disposable tips, nozzles. Much better way to go. And finally, the surprise of the day, the new cylinder head. Right now, I can tell you it is going to need a lot of help in the valve seat area, maybe even some inserts, but there are no visible cracks. And the part that I like about it the most is the design level. We have an 8043 base number, which is the dedicated gasoline head. This is a DC, which puts us to the correct design level for this 1945 model year tractor. And looking at the date code, 1111-0. So O is 1945. So this is a November 11th, 1945 casting date. And this is an early 45 engine. Like you look at the numbers on the block, this is a January 19th, 1945. It's got the O code. Front cover is January 10th, 1945. Again, the O code. So this is as close as I can possibly get to being absolutely correct for the engine block that we have. So that means I'm now on the hunt for a machine shop that wants to take in that job and hopefully can do it in a timely manner. We're already stretching this project out a lot further than I had hoped. But for now, it's getting on 4 o'clock in the afternoon and we still have a set of rims to get the second coat of paint on. Oh, gotta get busy. Let's see how we did. And the final detail now, the valve stems for the inner tubes. When I put those tubes in a few years ago new, you get these plastic sleeve nuts that retain those and keep those up in the rim until you get air pressure in. Well, we've got some new brass ones, right? Correct and proper, just like used to be on these back in the day. Much better. Well, I think I've got enough to call the episode right here. It doesn't seem like we did a whole lot. We painted 2 rims. It took me 2 days to do it, along with straightening up a lot of the back part of the shop. But we've got a lot of supplies. We have some new parts. And, well, it started out as a let's begin the painting process episode. Then it kind of morphed into a day in the life episode that then turned into, oh, unexpected new parts haul episode. I thought it was important just to kind of share this side of it because this is what most days are really like. It's not just living back here in the shop and making progress. A lot of times there's a lot of legwork, a lot of running, a lot of procurement of parts and supplies to ensure that we have something to do again tomorrow. So that's what we're going to do this time around. Thank you for watching, everyone. And also thank you for all of the comments offering help with cylinder heads under the last episode. Even if I didn't get time to respond to them, I read them all. Okay, so I've seen them. And if for some reason this cylinder head does not pan out, which they could still find a problem with it, I may be hitting y'all up for help trying another cylinder head for the project. So I do appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. I hope you all tune in again next time. And, oh, have I got a lot of work to do. I'm going to stay busy.